Hi, welcome back to another show. My name is Jeetu Jason, and you are watching Impact India. Abhijit Chavda just recently made a video about how Skyroot is the same or better than SpaceX. He's kind of misleading people. He lied through omission in this video where he said that SpaceX achieved their orbit in fourth attempt while Skyroot achieved their orbit in the first attempt itself. Now that is highly misleading because it's lying through omission. It equates two companies and two rockets where there is no equality between the two because SpaceX Falcon 1 rocket is a fully liquid rocket, while Skyroot's first three stages are solid propellants. Now, anyone who is interested in the rocket industry knows that solid rockets are basically like giant firecrackers. There is no engine at the bottom, it's mostly just propellant and a bell nozzle at the bottom. Kids make solid rocket boosters. The amateur rockets all over the planet build solid rocket boosters. Liquid rockets are exponentially more difficult to build than solid rockets. So to imply that a solid rocket is exactly the same as a liquid rocket, that is lie number one. He's lying through omission. He's pandering to a base in India that wants to feel good about India. To mislead people. Now, there are some benefits for that. Maybe it improves morale and confidence in India, but bullshit can only take you so far. Okay, lying doesn't work if you want to actually achieve things on the ground. Okay, I'm not denying the success of Skyroot. I'm just saying that the false equivalence between a solid rocket and a liquid rocket is bullshit, because once you ignite a solid rocket, it doesn't stop. You cannot stop a solid rocket booster. You cannot throttle it. So once ignition is a given, you cannot stop the rocket and you cannot throttle, which means what? Which means reusability is out of the question. You cannot make a solid rocket booster reusable ever. He knows about this, but he's still lying through omission. He's implying that a solid rocket, any dummy knows this, a solid rocket is not the same as a liquid rocket, because liquid rockets have engines in them. Solid rockets do not have engines in them. It is just propellant and a bell nozzle. That's it. It is super simple to build. Kids build this in their backyards. Smaller, but okay. When you have a lot more money, you can build a bigger one. But that is not the same as a liquid rocket because it has turbo pumps, injectors, and combustion chambers separate from the fuel tank. And plus, there are two fuel tanks, oxidizer and fuel. Solid rockets do not have that. It's just one solid booster. That's it. It burns from the top down, and that's it. It is super simple, no moving parts, nothing. So the problem with that is you cannot throttle it and you cannot stop the engine once it starts. It has to burn all the way through till the end. Abhijit knows about this. He's lying through omission. At this point, you have to grow as a nation and understand that when people are saying things to, this is basically national fabulism. You want to create a false identity of superiority that we haven't achieved yet. I'm not saying we won't achieve that, but tell the truth, okay? He's lying through omission. He cut out the part where the comparison between solid rocket and liquid rocket emphasizes the difference in achievement. SpaceX achieved a milestone that we haven't achieved yet as a private company. I'm not saying we won't. I'm just saying stop lying about it. Call a spade a spade. A solid rocket is not the same as a liquid rocket. A liquid rocket is exponentially harder because it has an engine. You have to build that, which Skyroot hasn't. The fourth stage, however, did have a liquid engine. Okay, but that is a lower chamber pressure. I think it is a lower chamber pressure liquid engine rather than the first stage, where it is much more difficult. It is much more harder to build that one. I'm not saying they won't be able to build it, but right now they haven't. And to imply that it's the same as SpaceX Falcon 1 rocket, that is lying. That is pure lying through omission. He ought to know about this. He pretends to be an intellectual who knows about these subjects. So I don't take this, as like an honest mistake. It's not an honest mistake. He knows that he's lying through omission. He's only saying that because his base likes it when he panders to them. Okay? So if you want truth, question him about this. Is the Skyroot Vikram 1 rocket the same as Falcon 1 rocket, or is there some difference here? Make him say that. Go comment on his video and say that we know that there is a difference between solid and liquid rockets, though both are not the same. One is extremely easy to do, the other one is extremely challenging and hard. And you need liquid rockets for reusability because you can throttle it and you can start and stop the engines, which you cannot do with a solid rocket. That's it. That's the reason why SpaceX chose liquid rockets over solid rockets. Any idiot could build that. If you have money, you can build a bigger one. That's it. But the value to reusability, when it comes to reusability, you cannot use a solid engine for that. Sorry, solid rocket for that. That's my opinion. Anyway, that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.